Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to my new channel, Doll Parts. My name is Angel, and I will be guiding you through this crazy, crazy journey that you're about to hear. Let's start out with a few things. You're wondering why I'm wearing this. Anonymity, basically. I just, if somebody old that, like an old person that I used to deal with recognizes me, this will make it a little harder. Excuse me. What else? This won't be my only channel. I will also have a reaction channel where I react to movies and things like that, or internet happenings, whatever. And the other one, there's gonna be a third. I want you guys to guess. Put it in the comments if you know who I'm talking about. I am addicted to watching this girl, and I'll give you a hint. There's a lot of reaction channels about her already. Lots. So if you know who I'm talking about, put it down in the comments, and I'll heart your comment if you're right. I'm sure a lot of you already know, because it's a big community over there, and it's wild. Anyhow, let's get into the video. What the title says: my life as I guess it would be tween, addicted to, I don't know how YouTube, what I can say and can't, addicted to hardcore substances. I got started very, very young. I've been, first and foremost, I have been clean, good for, about 6-7 years now. But, man, I started at a very, very young age. Let's start at the beginning, I guess. Sorry about this camera. This is the second time I filmed this video today. It's, the other one, I just don't really know what I'm doing yet, so, cut me a little slack. I need something to, prop this up with, so it's not, hang on, so it's not shaky. There we go. That's a little better. And yes, this is Ronald Reagan on my shirt. I'll show you the rest. It says I thought it was pretty funny. Anywho, let's get started. 3rd grade was the first time I ever put a legal substance into my body. And it was, how do I say, it was LSD. Okay, I'm the youngest of 3 kids. My brother is 5 years older than me. And my sister is 7 years older than me. And by the time I was in, coming up in like, fifth, sixth, middle school age, she was on tour with the band Fish. She would follow them around the country like the Grateful Dead heads did. I'm sure some of y'all know about the Fish thing. I love the band. Been to a lot of Fish shows, but traveling everywhere they go, I couldn't have done it. She did it. She left the house when she was 17, and that's what she wanted to do, so that's what she did. She would come home once every 6, 7, 8 months, whatever. We wouldn't hear from her for months and months, and then she'd show up at the house with a van full of hippies with dreads, and they all had lice, and they would stink, and they'd all be sleeping in our house, and it was just weird, man. And then the one time she brought this boyfriend home from Arkansas. I'm from Pennsylvania, a big city in Pennsylvania. I don't want there's 2 big cities, so I'm from one of them. So she brought this dude home, and he they play house in the basement, and I don't know, all I remember about this dude was anytime I seen him, he was cooking a grilled cheese. Like, this dude ate like 18 grilled cheese sandwiches a day. And, it was so weird. Anyhow, it's not about why I mentioned her. She would mail us home vials of LSD. I hate to call it. It's the only way I'm not gonna get in trouble on YouTube, I think. She would mail us vials in, those little sweet breath containers. You drop a drop or 2 in your mouth and your breath is fresh. You remember those? Yeah. Well, they'd be full of that, and we'd get like 3, 4 at a time for nothing, basically. And man, we had the whole town we lived in trip and on the daily. That was when it was still fun. But I was so young. I was like 9, 10, 11 years old. And it's crazy because I think of my girls now. I have about that age kids, 2 girls, and I just couldn't imagine them doing that. But they are not growing up in the environment that I did. My parents were old school hippies. They're cool people, my dad, I love my dad. He's a great guy, man. I feel terrible for all the stuff I put him through. I really do. My mom, it's another story. She's gone now, but she was more my friend than a mom. She was my mom for a while, and then at a certain point, once she knew I was doing, getting high, she turned into my friend. back in those days, you would. She had like chronic pain, she really did, but she played it up a lot. And back in them days where I was at, there'd be these doctors like, then dude, people would be lined up around the block on a certain day of the month or week, just waiting for their scripts. And they don't even make these anymore, I don't think. I don't know, but I don't think so. It was the Oxy, they were the 80s, and that's what she got. She would get them big, tall, fat bottles of them, and they were just like endless. And then the X to the Zan, those were my worst enemy. Not back then when I was a kid, but moving up. Anyhow, we'll get into that. So, first night I tried that, my brother and his friend were getting, stuff ready to be sold, and they were on strips of gum. Like, I used Sparker's gum, the blue pack, I'll never forget it. And they would break the pieces in half and put like 2 drops on each half. And you'd charge like $5 for one, 10 tops. Nowadays, I don't even know how much that would go for. And they would just, everybody was buying it. But my brother's friend, he looks over at me and he's like, "Hey man, you want one?" And he was kind of just joking, but I was like an addict before I even tried this stuff. Like, I looked up to my brother and sister so much, and I wanted to be just like them. And I knew that's what they did, and they had so much fun, and I just wanted to be like them. So I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And my brother, looks at me. We're looking at each other, and he hands it to me, and I put it in my mouth, chewed it up, so, like sucked on the gum for a little bit, because it's what you're supposed to do. And whoo-wee, that was a night. They left to go get rid of some. And dude, they were gone for hours, and I'm alone in the house. Like, how could they leave me there like that? I remember, one thing I remember very clearly about that night was me lying on the floor. I had a black lab dog, like the family dog. And I was just laying on the floor looking into her eyes, and I swear could hear her thoughts and her feelings, and I was talking to her without even talking, and I just stared, it was weird too, because she didn't move, she just stared right back at me, and it was like, it went on for so long, it seemed like, and, man, so finally, after forever, they get home, and then it was fun again, we had, we, I think, went in the pool, and, probably had some music on, stuff like that, so it wasn't that bad. It was actually, I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just weird, weird. But wait till you hear some of these stories, you guys. You're gonna think, um, you're just gonna think something. But anyhow, so that was the first drug I did. The next day, I'm blazing like I've been doing it for years. Um, don't know why, but I guess, once they gave that to me, it was cool to give me whatever. So I'm smoking, and all their friends knew that I did stuff, so they'd sell me whatever. And I'm like it's just crazy to think about. I was a kid. The kid, my girl that's that age right now is like riding around the yard on a hoverboard. That's her excitement. I'm doing the crazy. It just makes me. It's just crazy how that I grew up like that. Like I said, I was the youngest of three kids, and by the time I came along, my parents just didn't care anymore. Um, my mom, she was overweight, like pretty bad for a lot of years. That contributed to her pain, actually. And like not like a little bit overweight like me, but like I'm talking, oh, so she had the gastric bypass surgery, and this was back, uh, shoot, I want to say 1998, maybe it was 98 or 99, but whatever. But that was before they even really knew how to do the surgery, okay? And she literally went from like humongous, however many pounds, down to a skeleton in a couple months. She looked like a skeleton. We thought she was gonna die. She had to be fed from a feeding tube in her arm. I would have to, I'd skip school and everything just to take care of her, because my brother, wasn't good for anything, and my sister was on the road. My dad had to work during the day. I wasn't leaving my mom there like that, so I missed a lot of school back then. I'd like make sure dinner was on the table. My dad got home from work at 3:30, and so I'd make sure there'd be he'd have a dinner, a plate of food at 3:30. That's how I learned how to cook. It was because I had to, and finally we convinced her. She didn't want to go to a hospital. She didn't want to go. She was sick of being in hospitals and doctors and everything. And when she was like that, that's when she got really, really, really bad on the pain meds and the stuff like that. And I mean, they were just giving it endless amounts of them. They don't do that now. And I don't know if y'all know about the patches, the F patches. Yeah, I did them all the time. I'd open them up and eat the stuff out of them. And I'm probably about 13 now. So my dad convinces my mom to go finally to a doctor or hospital or something. he takes her into the doctor, and thank you, God, for this doctor. She saved my mom's life. My mom would have been dead. The dude who did her gastric bypass, the doctor, he opened her up, did the stomach thing or whatever, and just threw her organs back in. Her organs were in all flipped around in places they shouldn't have been, man. And so the new doctor, I love this woman till this day, till it's forever. She had to open my mom back up and fix all her insides, put everything where it's supposed to be, and I think she even did something with her stomach so she could actually eat. She was still skinny after that, but not like she was. If I could find this one picture, she looks like a freaking skeleton. It was crazy, dude. But anyhow, so she started getting better, and that was cool. So I could go. I went back, and I was in school a lot. Then I could actually go, but I was addicted to opiates by then because of all the oxys I was doing. And I'm not talking about the ones they have now. I'm talking about the green, if you know. So I would be in middle school, right, with an M&M mini tube. I would put them in there thinking I was clever. And it would be those, the P10s, and the, Lil Xan, the bars, and I'd have a whole big tube just filled with them every day, and I'd be in school like this, and nobody knew because I was so young. They never suspected a kid that young would be doing stuff like that, but I sure was. I remember this one time I was in gym class. A lot of stuff I don't remember, but I was in gym class, and they were supposed to be doing jumping jacks and warming up to do whatever. And I'm literally laying on the floor, passed out. They had to drag me up to the principal's office, or the nurse's office probably, because I think, probably ODing on the gym floor in school. And they still didn't realize it. They thought maybe I had like seizures or something. I don't know. But they never searched through my stuff, and they never found my stuff because I always kept it on me, not like in my book bag. And I didn't tell. I had one really close friend in my grade, and one two really close friends in the grade above me, and them two are both dead now. All my friends are dead, pretty much. Dead or junkies. If I would have stayed in Pennsylvania, I'd be dead too. I don't live there anymore. We'll get to that. So, yeah, I just kept going like that. all through middle school, that's all I did was, all day, every day. I had that M&M mini tube stacked, and I had my one girlfriend, and I feel so terrible because I'm the one who got her addicted to everything, and she had a hard time. She's doing fantastic now, and I'm very proud of her. But it was my fault. I got so many people on the first, hardcore substance, and it's not cool. Here comes my dog. He just came out the blanket. Hi, buddy. Yeah, I feel like a shit, because I got them all addicted. I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them I introduced to it, and most of them are dead now. My best friend in the world died in 2010, and the beginning of the year. My mom died in 2010 in July. Yeah, we'll get to all that, but back to the little kid stuff, I guess. I'll tell you a funny story. Okay. This one time. My back's all messed up right now. I have 3 slip discs, fractured tailbone, and sciatica. So yeah, I'm living it up right now. Okay. So, me, my brother, and his friend, same one. He was basically lived at our house. We had this really nice house with a big backyard and a huge swimming pool and nice ass house, man. But there was one bad thing about it, and I'll tell you in a second. Me so we decided to do, because we went to a lot of raves too, like every weekend. That's where we were in the city at a rave. Not every weekend, but a lot of the times. So, me, my brother, and his friend are out by the pool, and we decided to go in, and we had done the LSD, the cereal name, the special one, and a bunch of them 8-O's, and it was a hell of a mix. And that was actually one of my favorite mixes. Did it all the time. We get in the pool, and we're the water was burning us, and I felt like someone was pouring literal acid on the burning kind on your skin, and we're oh my god, what the heck is going on? And we're just looking at each other, splashing all over, but for some reason we're trying to make it to the exit of the pool, and it's just impossible because we're so geeked and dumb, and man, it was crazy. We're it's burning. We thought we were gonna die. My dad, he comes out, and he's hey, what are you kids doing in there? I just shocked the pool. And so, the water literally was burning us. I mean, not as bad as we thought, but Yeah, dude. He just had dumped a buttload of chemicals in the pool, and we weren't supposed to be in there. It's funny, dude. It's like, I'll never forget that day. So we got out and somehow managed, and, you know, it's funny, my dad, like I say, I all the stuff I put him through, I feel terrible for, man. Like, I'd come, he'd be waiting for me, like, and I'd come home all ripped, and he'd have the big light on, you know, in the entryway. And, like, I'd be like, man, dude, I don't even want to walk through the door. But I'd have to, and I'd walk in that door and hit the fan every time. You're on drugs. Yeah, he was a screamer, and it got pretty nuts. Some of the fights, you know, in the family, and just crazy, crazy things. And then my best friend, you know, the one I had that was in my grade, she was like my buddy, dude. We did everything together. And she'd be at my house, and there was like this one chair in the kitchen that wasn't at the table, and she would always be sitting there when we were fighting, and the phone was right above it on the wall. And we'd start fighting, and my dad would be like, alright, so and so, I think it's time for you to go home now. So she'd call her mom, and her mom would come get her. And yeah, I don't know, like, how it took her mom like years to figure out what the heck we were doing. Her mom was clueless. But she finally did. Then she wasn't allowed to be at my house anymore, but she still came. Anyhow, my mom started getting better, you know, like, you know, she's gained a little bit of weight, and but she couldn't really keep food down. The only thing she could ever eat was, like, chocolate and little Debbie cakes and Ho-Hos and Reese cups. It was weird. Like, it was the only thing she could keep down. And so that's what she basically lived on, like, the rest of her life. This video's getting pretty long here. Alright? I'm going to upload another video here in a second, because I want to tell you what I mentioned earlier about my house. We had a beautiful house. Beautiful. 3 bedrooms upstairs, living room, sunken. It was like a 1970s Brady Bunch looking house. So 70s. It was so awesome. We had the sunken living room, where, you know, where you have to step down into it. Big kitchen, and then we turned the garage into another room for my grandma to live there. My grandma was more of a mom to me than my own mom was. But and then we had the 3 bedrooms upstairs, bathroom, and then downstairs was like a finished basement, and we had it all decked out. My brother was a really good musician. He's a good guitar, like one of the best guitar players I've ever seen. He's a great singer, but his passion was electronic music. So back in them days, he'd have his whole setup down in the basement, and his bedroom was down there. It was like a huge basement, but the one side was finished. The other side was like just a big giant laundry room. Then there was a bathroom. Then my brother's room. It was like built. It wasn't supposed to be a bedroom, but there was like a wall. I don't know if we put it in or if the people before us put it in. Anyhow, what I'm getting at, I ramble. I'm sorry. This is my first video. I will get better. I promise. Yeah, our house was haunted as hell. I'm telling you, look at this. I'm dead serious. We lived through hell in that house, and that's the next video I'm going to get into in here in a minute. It was you'll hear it in the this one to show you how serious it is. You'll hear it in the next video, but dude, like, you're not gonna believe some of this stuff that happened to us in this house. I gotta start writing down little bullet points, I think, because I talk weird and I thought my thoughts are really scattered. So sorry about that. This is my first attempt at, making a video, so sorry about that. Anyhow, alright, well, I guess that's where I'm gonna end this one. I want y'all to know, man, if anybody out there that's watching this is going through it right now, addicted and thinking there's no way out, there's always a way. Always a way. I was doing the worst and the most, and I mean for years. I started at we'll say 10, we'll say 11 with the hardcore stuff. And I didn't get clean till I was 27. So I got plenty of experience. But look, you guys, there's always a way to y'all need to get some help if you have to. If you have to get on subs for a little bit, do that. Or if you have to go into a treatment center, do that. Or call somebody, or anything. This stuff nowadays is killing everybody. Like, I could probably write out a list of friends that I lost, and it would be hundreds of names. Like, good friends would probably be at least 50, 60 people, probably maybe a little bit more. But, like, just people I know and acquaintances and people I've dealt with, hundreds, and it's happening every day. There was just one the other day, actually. A girl that I knew, and her mom died the same way a few years back. So, man, it ain't worth it. Life is such a, there's such a better thing to do than to be out there ripping and running, man, if you have to just go into treatment and get it over with. It's only a couple days, you know, super duper sick. And then I just don't want anybody to be on that crap anymore. I'm talking about the H stuff. Yeah, I started that when I was about 12-ish. I'll get into that in the next one. And yeah, I'll have bullet points and stuff written down for the next one. Like I said, I filmed this video earlier, and something weird happened. I don't know why, but it just like wouldn't upload, and it like, I don't know. So this one isn't as good as the last one. I'm sorry. I just made this big homemade spaghetti and meatball meal, and I'm like tired and full and ready to chillax. Alright, y'all, so get ready for the haunted house video. And don't forget, you see that thing behind me? I made that. It's a little faded now. It's been up for a long time. Yeah, I made that. I really like it. I thought it turned out really good. Okay. But if you guys remember, okay, the other channel I was talking about, it's a girl that everybody has reaction channels about and lots of people hate. And if y'all guess it, I will heart your comment. I'll probably still